Why did my husband's divorce lawyer walk out halfway through the hearing? I was sitting in that sterile courtroom when Trent's attorney abruptly stood up, gathered his papers, and walked straight out. The judge looked confused. Trent looked panicked. And I just smiled. Let me back up. Trent and I had been married for 11 years when I found the texts. Not just any texts, detailed plans about how he'd drain our accounts, hide assets in his brother's name, and leave me with nothing while he started fresh with his yoga instructor, Brianne. He'd been planning this for 8 months. The text revealed something else. His lawyer, Clayton Hargrave, wasn't just representing him. They were childhood friends who'd cooked up this entire scheme together. Clayton knew exactly where every asset was hidden because he'd helped orchestrate it. When Trent served me papers, I played the devastated wife perfectly, cried at mediation, begged him to reconsider. Meanwhile, I was documenting everything. See, I'm a forensic accountant. Finding hidden money is literally what I do. I traced every transfer, every shell company, every account opened in his brother's name. I found the condo he purchased for Brianne using money from our joint investments. I discovered the offshore account funded by selling equipment from his business that he'd reported as stolen. But here's what made it beautiful. I also found Clayton's cut. Attorneys aren't supposed to have financial stakes in their clients' divorces. Clayton had been taking 15% of everything Trent hid. I had bank statements, emails, and recorded calls where they discussed splitting my retirement fund. I never hired a lawyer. I represented myself, which made everyone assume I was naive. Trent's smirk grew wider each session. Clayton practically rolled his eyes when I spoke. The hearing was supposed to be straightforward. Clayton would present their narrative about Trent's struggling business. I'd walk away with scraps. Instead, I requested to present evidence. I started with the shell companies. Trent shifted in his seat. Then I showed property records for Brianne's condo. His face went pale. But when I pulled up wire transfers between Clayton's account and Trent's hidden ones, Clayton stood up so fast his chair tipped backward. "Your Honor, I need a recess," he stammered. "Denied," the judge said, leaning forward. "Miss Winters, continue." I pulled up email after email. Clayton advising Trent on which assets would be hardest to trace. Clayton suggesting ways to undervalue the business. Clayton celebrating via text when they'd moved $80,000 offshore. "This is attorney-client privilege." Clayton tried desperately. "Actually," I said calmly, "fraud negates privilege. Conspiracy to defraud is a crime, not a privileged communication." The judge asked Clayton to approach the bench. The conversation was whispered but heated. I watched his face transform from red to white. He turned, grabbed his briefcase, and walked out without another word. The judge looked at Trent. "Do you wish to request a continuance to find new representation?" Trent couldn't speak. The judge reviewed my evidence for 30 minutes. Then she did something unexpected. She picked up her phone and made a call right there in the courtroom. "Yes, this is Judge Reynolds. I need to report suspected attorney misconduct and possible fraud. I'm requesting an investigation into multiple potential violations of state bar ethics." After she hung up, she turned to me. "Liz Winters, I'm granting a 2-week continuance. I'm also freezing all accounts you've identified pending investigation." Trent found his voice. "This is insane." "She's lying, Mr. Winters." The judge cut him off. "I suggest you stop talking and find a criminal defense attorney. You're going to need one." In the hallway, Trent grabbed my arm. "You've ruined everything." I pulled free. "No, I documented everything you tried to ruin." What I didn't tell him was what else I'd found. The part that would come out in 2 weeks. The part about the second family he'd been supporting in Arizona for 3 years. The part that would mean he'd been committing bigamy this entire time. I couldn't fit what happens next in this short video. Watch the rest down below.